Steel echoes against steel. A hollow boom rolls through a ship so vast it feels like a floating canyon. Inside these cavernous chambers, cargo holds reaching stories high. Dust, residue, and darkness gather like an unwanted memory. And now, as the engines hum and the sea stretches endlessly around them, a crew prepares for one of the most grueling and unforgiving tasks in commercial shipping: cleaning. Not the cleaning you know, not some quick sweep or rinse. This is something else entirely, a ritual of endurance, danger, and unseen pressure. For bulk carrier crews, these empty holds are not just empty spaces. They are the battleground between profit and loss, between approval and rejection, between a ship moving forward and a ship stuck, unpaid and unwelcome. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, because if we are about to witness the most grueling ship job ever, we might as well prove we can survive Monday without throwing our coffee into the ocean. This is the hidden world of cargo hold cleaning at sea, a world of grime, risk, politics, economics, and survival. Bulk carriers are not glamorous. They do not slice through ice or blaze across waves. They lumber, heavy silent giants designed to move mountains, coal, ore, grain, sand, steel, and salt. The holds are simple, vast, empty blocks of steel, capable of swallowing tens of thousands of tons of cargo. Yet as simple as they appear, nothing aboard them is truly simple, not when the next cargo demands perfection. The rules are strict, the margins are razor thin, and the consequences of failure are devastating. When a ship unloads coal, for example, a fine black dust clings to every surface. It hides in corners, under beams, behind stiffeners, even inside the microscopic pores of paint. The next cargo might be food, such as corn, wheat, or soybeans, grain that must remain pure, no residue, no contamination, not a single black speck. This transition from dirty cargo to clean cargo is the crew's nightmare. It starts quietly. The ship sails away from the discharge port, engines rolling beneath the feet of the exhausted crew. Before the last crane finishes unloading, the brooms, hoses, and scrapers come out. Every man on deck knows what awaits: days, sometimes weeks, of non-stop work. Deckhands, officers, cadets, everyone gets pulled in. Life aboard becomes a cycle of labor. Sweep, wash, rinse, scrape, and after that repeat the process again, over and over again, until the steel shines like new. Yet the sea shows no mercy. Unlike a stable dock or a warehouse, the ship moves continuously, rolling with the swell, shuddering as waves strike the hull. Inside the cargo holds, floors become slick, walls become treacherous, and heights turn deadly. One wrong step can spell disaster. Still, they continue. Much of the work uses fire hoses, high-pressure weapons blasting seawater against steel walls in an attempt to dislodge the coal trapped in every crack. Where the water cannot reach, hands must. Crew members climb scaffolds improvised from ladders and ropes, scraping stubborn residues one handful at a time. The scale is immense. A single hold can soar over 20 meters high and stretch longer than a basketball court, and there are not one, but 5, 6, sometimes 7 of them. The cleaning does not stop at washing. Once the seawater rinse is complete, they must spray fresh water, removing salt that could ruin the next food-grade cargo. After that, everything must dry, completely, with no droplets or puddles, not even a damp patch on the wall. When inspection day arrives, the tension is palpable. The crew is given everything. They have worked overtime, sacrificed sleep, and cleaned every visible surface multiple times. Now, inspectors arrive, and their judgment is final. Modern inspections have become increasingly sophisticated. Inspectors do not just rely on visual examination anymore. They use drones equipped with high-resolution cameras and specialized sensors. These drones can access spaces humans can barely reach, finding hidden contamination that would have passed inspection in earlier eras. The drone hovers through the hold, its cameras scrutinizing every surface. A water droplet caught in a corner crevice, a smudge of residue behind a beam, a puddle in a drainage point. Any of these can trigger a failure. The standards are unforgiving. They have to be, because contaminated grain can affect food safety for thousands of people. For the crew, watching the inspection is agonizing. They know that even after 6 days of backbreaking work, their fate might come down to a detail they missed in one shadowy corner of a 10,000-ton hold. But for the men scrubbing steel for days on end, it feels like betrayal. Still, business continues because the ship must sail and the grain must load. Inside the vessel, life shrinks to the dimensions of the hold. The crew works overtime, often pushing beyond legal limits. Work and rest schedules blur. Fatigue becomes a constant companion. Shoulders ache, knees buckle, backs stiffen, and yet they push on. Sometimes the incentive is financial. In rare cases, the company promises a reward. Thousands of dollars split among the crew if they pass on the first attempt. That money could change someone's month, maybe even their year. But money means nothing when failure lurks with every speck of dust overlooked. Crews often fail, even after days of labor, and when they do, the outcome is painfully predictable. The shipping company hires professionals. A shore-based cleaning team arrives in overalls, carrying equipment the crew can only dream of: industrial sprayers, scaffolds, high-powered pumps, and specialized chemicals. With practiced motions and better tools, these teams can do in one day what exhausted sailors struggled to achieve for weeks. It's efficient, yet deeply demoralizing for those working endlessly at sea. Some seafarers quietly describe it as harsh and persistent discrimination. Others view it simply as relentless and exhausting unfair global competition. Many regard it bitterly as an unspoken rule everyone follows reluctantly. But all of them inevitably call it frustrating in every possible way. But this is only one aspect of life aboard a bulk carrier during cleaning operations. The emotional toll runs deeper. Sailors speak of fear, not of the work, but of the pointless exhaustion, of giving everything, only to fail because an inspector decided to. They remember the days when they cleaned relentlessly for weeks, 20 days at anchor, the ship unmoving, the crew trapped in a cycle of sweeping and spraying, only to watch professionals succeed instantly with identical results. It's a wound that never fully heals. Yet somehow, resilience grows here. Amid the grime and fatigue, there are small victories: a hold that dries faster than expected, a beam wiped clean with one perfect stroke, a team member offering a hand at the moment someone's strength falters. Life aboard becomes a blend of monotony and sudden urgency. One moment they're washing steel in the soft hum of machinery, the next, they're rushing to secure equipment as the weather turns. Winter crossings make everything harder. Hoses freeze, decks turn to ice, wind cuts through layers of clothing, and the steel itself becomes dangerously cold to the touch. But the sea always remains coldly indifferent. The ship keeps moving steadily through relentless challenges. The work simply continues without any real pause. Crew members adapt in their own ways. Some keep their spirits up with music echoing faintly through the steel walls. Others joke through the exhaustion, turning misery into camaraderie. At night, they gather in the mess hall, sharing meals that taste better simply because they are warm. The pressure is constant, but so is the bond between them. Because at sea you don't just work with people, you live with them. You rely on them. And during these cleaning operations, you suffer with them. But even in this harsh environment, moments of awe exist. When the ship sails through open ocean with the sun rising over the bow, holds drying in golden light, there is beauty. Exotic ports, distant continents, skies filled with stars untouched by city lights. These small wonders remind the crew that their world, though difficult, is extraordinary. Yet the true test isn't beauty, it's the inspection. Days of preparation collapse into a single decisive moment. Inspectors step onto the gangway with clipboards and cameras. They descend into the hold, shining lights into corners the crew memorized painfully over the last week. The crew waits above, silent and visibly anxious. They wonder if this inspection will finally pass. They hope their exhausting effort will finally matter. Sometimes the answer is a welcome yes. More often the answer becomes a defeating no. Failure means even more relentless cleaning ahead. More delays stack heavily onto their schedule. More overtime slowly drains their remaining energy. More exhaustion settles deep into every crew member. For the company, losses grow with every passing hour. Charterers may withhold payment until standards meet expectations. Schedules begin unraveling under mounting operational pressure. The pressure builds steadily with every unresolved setback. But this is the reality of bulk carrier life. A reality formed not just by labor, but by economics, regulations, and the relentless demands of global trade. The world depends on these ships, yet rarely sees the toll they place on the people who operate them. Because behind every load of grain on a supermarket shelf, behind every ton of steel in a skyscraper, behind every shipment of minerals fueling modern industry, there is a crew somewhere at sea, spraying down steel walls under blistering sun or freezing winds. Their work may be unseen, but it keeps the world moving. In the end, life aboard a bulk carrier during cleaning operations is a paradox. Simple, yet impossibly complex. Monotonous, yet dangerously unpredictable. Thankless, yet essential. These crews push through exhaustion, politics, and unforgiving standards. Not because they seek glory, but because the job demands it. They endure corruption, weather, fatigue, and the sheer physical pain of scraping steel from dawn to dusk. And when the holds finally pass inspection, when the grain pours in like golden waterfalls of profit and purpose, there is relief. A quiet satisfaction, a sense of survival. For in this world, the true challenge is not the cargo. It is the work behind the cargo. It is the human endurance behind global trade. It is the dull steel walls that reveal the strength of the people who clean them. If this journey into the hidden world of bulk carriers captivated you, join the next video as we explore another demanding corner of life at sea, where routine meets danger, and extraordinary stories unfold behind every wave. If you made it through this chaos with us, hit subscribe, because surviving extreme jobs like this deserves at least one small victory.